like OnePlus 7. Then they have their premium high-end flagship stuff like.
Morning everyone, you join us on a rather blustery day down at Pembury Flats. We're about to kill some VO2 max efforts as a group. Hope we don't get rained on. It's crazy to think that the structured ride sessions as part of Bynea Cycling Club are almost a year old now. And time has literally flown since we started doing them. It's crazy to see people come on in just 12 months. Alright, I just pulled over. I should be getting going now really, but I pulled over for a quick nature break. And to kind of, now that I've got a little bit of time, well, I don't have any time now, but what I wanted to do was leave the group have a big enough gap that I have something to chase. And being that I stopped around about 2 minutes from the bottom of the climb, you'd get a normal hill climb event where you've obviously got to line up at the bottom of the hill like 5 minutes before and then wait for your start, and then you don't really have, you don't really roll into the effort, so to speak. You don't have that light spin in your legs. So that's what I'm kind of simulating right here. We'll see how we get on. The climb, I'll put like a little graph of what the climb looks like on the screen right now. It's not straightforward at all, like it's fairly steep at the bottom, and then there's little bits of downhill, flat section. It ramps up at the top again, but problem is we've got a whopping tailwind. Okay, effort finished. Not entirely happy with it, but we'll take it because there's a howling tailwind, and most of you will know that trying to get power down, like actual raw absolute power, maximum effort in a tailwind is obviously a lot harder than in a headwind, or even in a crosswind. So I'll take that. It was like 400, I'll check for you actually, 409 normalized, 407 average, so we'll call it 409. Like I said, hard on a pace. The flatter sections I actually went down to 250 watts, 250 to 300 on purpose in order to make the effort kind of a lot more relevant. Alright, that's the second effort done. I'm now pretty certain that I need a good warm-up before I do these efforts. And I managed to tick over like 430 watts for the 3 minutes, which is better than what I did on the first climb. But of course I was pacing myself for an 8.5 minute effort, waiting for the rest of the group. We've had to split in two because there's a difference in ability between some of us, so we're split in two. I'm taking a bit of a quicker group on the same circuit, and they're just finishing up their third effort, my second effort. And something that I noticed, and this isn't directed to anybody in that group, but it's certainly, I suppose, relatable to a lot of groups, and you may find this, but an awful lot of time is spent kind of soft tapping. Now, don't get me wrong, like resting between efforts is very important. I highly recommend it. Anything below 50 or 40% of functional threshold power is suitable for recovering. But what I would say is that if there's a vast distance to cover between the efforts, then obviously think about trying to ride zone 2 a little bit more, but don't get carried away and don't press on, because you've got to save yourself for the actual structure, the actual efforts you set out to do in the first place. National Botanic Gardens of Wales, right there. Though my nose is a little bit stuffy. I know Charlie's ill, but I think it's the weather. Anybody else get that? Like funny weather plays havoc with you. Anyways, just me. Yeah. My legs are like jelly, I don't know about you. Yes. More right done. Oh, My legs look jelly. We just had a bit of a fun sprint for the final KOM segment. Coming back into town. Shouldn't really have done it, but the wind was good, so we had to go with it anyway. That caps off a pretty decent ride. 2 hours 45, just shy of 75k, and about three different efforts, all totaling around about 15 to 17 minutes at like anaerobic, so like well over VO2, just on that border, zone 5, zone 6, so pretty hard, pretty intense. Try to recover from that now and go again tomorrow. I don't know how many of you have done the Harrogate circuit on Zwift, or how many of you are actually on Zwift. I'm guessing quite a lot of you. For those of you that aren't, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're not on Zwift, but yesterday I backed up Saturday's session by doing some bizarre race on Zwift that totaled something like 97 kilometers. It was around about 2 hours 20 minutes of racing on the Harrogate World Circuit. I think it was 7 laps, and we ended up like having quite a low number of entries because I think people were too drunk after the actual Worlds event, like watching it. But I was pretty inspired, so I decided to jump on and give it a go. Ended up having like a really hard session, really hard workout from it, and I'm trying to have like 1 day a week where I don't specifically have like a structured session to do, and that was it. And it's kind of like a form finder type of thing where you'll ride for, you know, a good spread and a good array of training zones. Like yesterday in the race, for 2 hours and 20 minutes, I spent like 25% of my time in each of the first 4 power zones. I didn't spend any time in zone 5 or 6, mainly because I find it so hard on an indoor trainer. Maybe you have the same problem, but I'm not a powerful rider anyway, but I definitely can't do it on an indoor turbo. So but I made up for that the day before anyway, when we did a couple of efforts out on the road. By the way, that first effort that I did, which was like a test effort, I did it 8 minutes at 409, which is kind of like fairly standard. I've got some, I know, like, I don't want to keep saying like I've got an update or like I've got big plans coming up, because I have got big plans coming up. There's certain things coming that you're going to be super excited about and I want to share with you, but I can't yet because it's not really official, so you're still going to have to bear with me on that one, I'm afraid. But you can be excited. Like, I'm giving you permission to be very excited, because I am very excited at the minute. The other thing is that I wanted to talk about is my training for the next well, at least for the next month, the next 27 days or whatever it is till the nationals, is my training and the format that that's going to be taking. And what I'm going to be doing is going, instead of, you know, keeping the format that I usually keep, where I train specifically for road race. And the way I do that is I do blocks of training. So you don't just train you know, individual days, you'll train back-to-back days. And you know, it's been shown, it's been proven to increase your ability to be an endurance athlete. You know, and that's been shown when you stitch, you know, blocks of days to get, well, days of training together to create blocks, you create a greater effect. But it's not really considered necessary for what I'm trying to attain the next month, and because I have the advantage of having a whole season of racing, you know, in the body, in the legs, and obviously doing the tour Britain a couple of weeks back, I don't really have to go down that route. I don't have to be that kind of structured with this. What I'm going to do is go to the most typical, I guess you can call it, way of training a lot of people know of, and that is to follow the Monday and Friday day off approach and train for 3-day block in the week, which I guess contradicts what I just said, but what I am going to be doing is a 2-day block on the weekend, which would generally involve, at least for the next month, a hill climb on the weekend, which is something else that I need to get onto, which is hill climbs are going to start for me as of this weekend, finally. I bet most of you are about to say, but it's hard when the things that I've been kind of planning and talking about with like, I can't say it yet, but the things we've been planning I can't talk about. That's what's been taking all my energy recently, and it's unfortunate that I haven't been able to do as many hill climbs so far that I would have liked, but that will all be changing this weekend, and I'm just so excited. I don't know what else to say really. So I'm just going to end it here. There's a little bit of an update, but big things to come, big plans, fingers crossed. Things are looking good, and I'm just super excited.